Live, love, learn with Courtney.
Good morning. Good morning. What a wonderful morning. What a wonderful way to start our day. As our guest is coming in, I would like to read an affirmation to you. Today is an incredible day. Success, prosperity, and abundance in many different forms have naturally found their way into my life today. I gratefully enjoy their manifestations throughout my day and happily share these blessings of abundance with many others in order to bring happiness to their days as well. So, good morning and welcome. Hey, Khadija, how are you? Good morning, sis. So, we have a wonderful guest today. His name is Emmanuel Boakye, and he is currently residing in Africa. He lives in Ghana, and he's going to talk to us about what the Black experience is like over there. We have a disconnect between being African American and living in Africa. So sometimes, even like being here, we're taught that Africa is a scary place, right? This place that we should be afraid of or never go to, or there's only hungry people there. But the reality is that Africa is a thriving continent, and Boakye is really gonna break it down and let us know what he's dealing with, what the climate is like, and how currently people in Africa are ready for us to come home, pretty much. That's really what it is. He is a teacher. We met in a Black Educators Rock group, and he has just been phenomenal with sharing resources, sharing history, and I've been learning a lot about my own roots just in having conversations with him, and it's been making me want to explore a little more. So I definitely, want everyone to be able to take advantage of this experience, and then we'll post it and be able to talk a little bit more. So good morning, those of us that are coming in. I'm just gonna send a few waves out. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so he should be on any second. We'll see what's going on. All right, good morning. Our guest is here today. So, just like we did last time, you can press request and share, and we can get started. He reactivated his Instagram just for us. He didn't even use Instagram anymore. And he was like, you know what? Let me make sure that I'm able to jump in and really have this conversation. Good morning. Welcome, those of you that are coming in. I think this is going to be an amazing conversation once he gets in and we get started. Okay, here we go. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
So, can you just let the people know where are you calling from?
Okay. My name is Emmanuel, first of all, and I'm calling from Ghana, in West Africa, to be precise. Yeah.
And can you say your whole name for us?
Okay, my full name is Emmanuel Boakye.
And what part of
You get
Ghana
that?
are you in right now?
Okay, I'm in Obuasi in the Ashanti region right now.
Okay, so Mr. Boche from the Asante region is here with us to share information, to explore, to kind of learn about COVID and the pandemic and what's been occurring. And I'm excited. Okay,
I'm excited as well.
so let's just get started. Get to the brunt of these questions, right? What is it like right now living in Africa with the pandemic? How are people surviving? How are people getting by? And what do the numbers look like?
Okay, thanks for the question. And I appreciate the fact that you have me for this dialogue. Actually, with the pandemic, it's been a great achievement for Africa, like if I should put it that way, because as they expected us to fall sick, like other countries like Italy, China, and say the United States, we've been able to contain the spread as much as we can, So I would say that it's been good. Just that it has been as other places have been, and we've shut down, we've gone on lockdown, and now we are back, and things are beginning to get normal. But we're still taking care. We still, taking note of the protocols, the safety protocols that has been laid down by the World Health Organization. Yeah. So
Okay, so
generally,
what about
we're doing
testing?
well.
Because we were talking a little bit about Bill Gates and his company coming in. How has that been? Are they still trying to test people out there?
They were trying to test people, but there were agitation from the people, and I think they put a stop to that for now. But most countries got some test kits from the Jack Ma Alibaba, in China, and they are doing well. People have got tested, but not as much as in the United States, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, out here it's really bad. We are in lockdown mode. We keep trying to reopen, and then certain places are getting reinfected. Hopefully, the decline continues for us. We are trying to get some places reopened and to kind of get life as normal as we can be. But our numbers are nothing compared to Africa's. Our numbers are through the roof. We have skyrocketed where Africa has been able to maintain low records. What did you tell me that the total number was before of cases? I believe you were only in the thousands, right? The few thousands?
Okay. We now having about 12,000 cases. The last time I checked, we had 12,000 cases, and we had about I think 8,000 recoveries, and
wow.
around 84 deaths.
That's amazing. I would never imagine the way that media portrays Africa, that Africa would be the #1 thriving continent in the world right now. That is amazing. And I'm so proud to be Black just because of that.
Wow. Yeah, we're doing great. Yeah.
That's beautiful to know because, we were talking earlier in this week, and oftentimes the media portrays Africa as this place of dirtiness, as people are always hungry and starving, and they make us afraid to go back. But the irony of it all is the government really goes in and takes all of the resources that they need from Africa. So how could this place that they take everything from really be that bad, right? So I would like to know from your opinion, what do you think about how the media has been portraying Africa to the United States versus what the experience living there really is like?
I would say that it's quite unfortunate, but I have to say that the Western countries have been thriving on lies to, I think, make their way through, And yes, we are poor in Africa, but if I ask who made us poor, we're paying debt to those supposedly rich countries. You get it? Yeah. So it's like they try to put lies out there in order to capitalize on it and look good in the eyes of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad sometimes that people are not able to act like men and face reality. They only have to portray lie in order to look good. We in Africa, we are very bold, and we don't fear to say it as it is. You get it? If we are poor, we know we are poor, but in as much as we can to get to the higher height. Just that there are obstacles, and these same people who are lying against us, they are our obstacles. They're preventing us from growing. They loot from us, and they come back to tell us that we are poor. And I wouldn't blame them that much because sometimes, some of our people get carried away with huge sums of money, brought in by these people. So they sell us out. That's how come I think, like most of the people in the world see Africa as poor, but indeed Africa is not poor. Africa is not uncivilized as it's said by these Western people. We know that in every country, and bad people, and no one can tell me that every place in America is neat. Obviously,
Yeah.
there are places in America that are not tidy.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
if you try to propagate lies and say that the whole of Africa is all are back forward, they are uncivilized. Whilst we can know that most of the things that you claim are yours were taken from us. You get it? They built their cities from what we have, and now they come back to tell us this, but it's unfortunate. We only have to take it that way and try as much as we can to, grow by ourselves to the height that we want to be. Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, right? Because we got into a conversation a few weeks ago just about how the media has portrayed Africa as being this place that needs to adopt Western ideas and ideologies to be civilized. So, what do you think, or what can you enlighten us with, inform us about just slavery and how it happened? How did we end up in America, right? We know that the Atlantic slave trade happened, but how were African people manipulated to say, okay, we're going to send you off with these other foreigners to America? How did that exchange occur?
Okay. I don't want to get emotional here, but let me try. I'll just say this in brief. It's quite pathetic. And first of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of trade. Actually, it wasn't only the white people that took part in the transatlantic slave trade. You get it? Yeah, that's why I would apologize on behalf of all those people, the greedy bastards who actually made this happen. But we should know that, back in Africa in the days, Africans had their own civilization. They had their way of punishing people. And we can attest to the fact that, in the days, people were trying to open up their territories. You get it? So they went for war. Okay. So their enemies, they take them into captive. So they add their enemies to their kingdom so they can expand. Okay. And, when people commit crimes, they are taken into prisons and they are made to work as punishment. You get it? So that was how come, when these people, like we took them in slavery, but, at that time, when you are taken into slavery and you're able to please your master, you can become the king. So a bad idea. It was a way of punishment to correct people. You get it? So when the white people came in, and they actually came in because they wanted to trade. They've heard rumors that Africa had rich resources, like the land is rich. So they came in here and they needed some of our resources. They started trading with us. The first Europeans to come to Africa actually was the Portuguese. Yeah, they came to Africa, started trading with us, and they went back, came again, and built their castles, to keep their goods that they've traded. Okay. So by that, they decided to leave the shores of Africa, Gold Coast, at that time Ghana was called. They decided to leave. So they handed over to the Dutch. You get it? So there was back and forth between the Portuguese and the Dutch. Along the line, the Dutch people also came in, and they were interested in trading with so they were back and forth, and the Portuguese people gave up, so they went back, and the Dutch took over. They built castles to make it easier for them to keep their goods and also to accommodate themselves. So by that, they actually discovered a land in America. At that time, British also came in. The British people also came in, interested in trading too. So the Dutch people also handed over the territory to the British people. You get it? So what happened was the British people discovered, I don't know, that is not true actually, but that's what they say that they did. That's lie that have been
But they didn't. We know they didn't.
propagated along these years. Let's just put it like they did in this context, right? Okay. So they discovered the land in the America and the Caribbean, and they needed people to build a city first. You get it? So when they came to capitalize on our civilization, how we punish people when they go wayward. You get it? So, for example, if I am a slave or if my kingdom is defeated by another kingdom, I'm taken into captivity and I become part of the powerful kingdom. You get it? So I would work for that kingdom because I've been defeated. You get it? But if I work very hard, I can become even a king in that kingdom. Okay? So they came in and they asked for workforce. So our people thought it was going to be as we used to, do it in good.
Yeah.
They were given good places to sleep. So it was like they were going to do the same as we used to do here. But so unfortunate, they went and maltreated our people. So, the castles that they built down in the Gold Coast now became a place. It became a place where they kept slaves. So, and because it got lucrative, they started buying them, giving the local people money, and they started trading. So they said, and actually started selling even good people. You get it? So that's how come some of our family ended up in America.
So it's funny that you say that, because oftentimes people in America will say, oh, well, Black people sold themselves and Black people had slaves too, but they don't realize the context, right? Slavery in America was completely different than what it was in Africa, like you just said. Slaves had the opportunity to grow, to build, and I had no idea that you could even become a king from being a slave, because our definition of slavery is indentured servitude with beatings, right? You will forever be working for someone else's mission and purpose, and you're going to get beat if you don't do the right thing. That is our definition of slavery. So to know that Africa's definition of slavery was completely different, it kind of brings me some peace. It brings me a little bit of peace to know that it wasn't intentional. And I would like to see more growth. So what did you want out of African Americans? Because I remember you were talking about us coming home, right? Where did that idea come from?
Actually,
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, Boakye. So we're going to try to get Boakye back on. I'm going to exit you out and pull you. Just in building and furthering and letting you know what it is that I've spoken to him about on multiple occasions, we've really had the wool pulled over our eyes as a people. In no form of jest, in no form of laughter, it is time that we organize, and it is time that we rebuild our own sustainability. I am in a space, especially being motivated and empowered by our conversations, to not allow anyone to say, well, I don't accept you because you're Black. I don't care. That's your problem. That is not my problem. My goal and my purpose and my mission is to make sure that I and my family are living a sustainable life. So if I have to create or redesign curriculum or whatever it is for people that look like me, I'm going to do that. And I would advise all people to just think about how to create a sustainable environment for yourself. How do you get information? How do you build with the people around you? Because with the pandemic, with social injustice, I'm tired. And I don't know about y'all, but it is tiring. Complaining, being upset, being stressed out, wondering if it's going to be you next, being scared that your partner or sibling or parent is going to get murdered just because they look like you is a terrifying experience. Driving down the street, seeing police cars, knowing you did nothing wrong, and getting a fear or anxiety in your heart as a result of it is something that is not okay. It's not something that we ever need to normalize. And I think that's where the purpose of our conversation was going. Unfortunately, we had a little technical issue, so I removed Boakye because of the connection. If he jumps back in, we'll definitely continue and have the conversation. But I definitely want you to consider creating sustainability in your own environment, right? So white people perceive us as this, or other people may perceive us as X, Y, and Z. But how do we perceive ourselves? That's the real question, right? Because white people have made fun of Asians and called them yellow and all these other names that were racially insensitive, put them in detainment camps. But they still said, you know what? I am going to organize for myself and build in my community to be well established and self-sustainable. And then they soared in the areas of math and science. So I think it's about time that we figure out the areas that we want to soar in and create our own sustainability, because then we are power players in the market. The black dollar is valuable. There's a reason that every single company invests in the black dollar. There's a reason that every single politician campaigns to the black audience when it is time for election. It is a reason for it all, and we definitely need to take advantage of it. So with that being said, I offer you the idea of visiting Africa. This is something that I want to do just to get the experience, just to kind of learn where my roots are, because in talking to Boakye, I was able to understand that us being in America is a result of manipulation, unawareness, and Black people, frankly, just being too humble. As a people, we are very, very humble. We do not bear arms. We do not believe, in the majority of us, do not believe in carrying, shooting, or weaponizing ourselves. And it's so funny that as against weapons as we are the people they are used against the most, which is phenomenal to me, right? For a group of people in general to be anti-gun, anti-war, anti-physical, to be primarily oppressed with those same resources, at some point we have to organize and say, not anymore. It's not okay. And I love the protests. I love the changes in policy. So now it's time, okay, let's hit the economic market. What are we going to do to reevaluate and to control the black dollar? What are we going to do to reevaluate and to improve academics so that it is beneficial and truthful to our children? It is not okay for a Black or brown child to not know who Martin Luther King Jr. was, or to not know who Malcolm X was, but to tell you everything about Thomas Edison and Christopher Columbus. That is erasing our history. That is whitewashing history, and it needs to change, because understanding where we've been will give us the empowerment to really know where we're going. For example, with my students in math class, I sat down with them and we went through the history of mathematics. We talked about how being able to count on your fingers was a result of the Yoruba people in Nigeria finding ways to say, okay, we're going to count these numbers, and then afterwards the next one comes here, and we're going to make this idea of finger counting universal, right? Ancient civilizations that were developed in Egypt were not developed by white people. Africa is a continent primarily of people that looked like us. Even with the Moors, right? The Moors were Black people. So, and they were civilized, and they civilized these nations. The Moors taught white people how to bathe, how to clean, how to dress. So there is no way that we can accept that our history started at slavery, because that's all we get in our books. So I encourage everyone, please take an opportunity to learn, to grow, to invest in history, to build in history, because it is essential. It is essential. And Aisha said, I'm coming too. That's right, sis. Let's go. I'm so ready. Oh, Boakye came back. Wonderful. So, Boakye, let's get you back on. And we'll spend the last few minutes just going through the rest of the questions that we had about the African experience and jumping back, because, you know, I'm really excited about being able to learn more about a country that growing up, I was pretty much taught to be afraid of. There are Black people, most of us in America, that are afraid to go to Africa. Why are we afraid? Why are we afraid to be with people that look like us? Why are we afraid to be with people that are welcoming us? Why are we afraid to be with people that know our culture, right? These are people that are still embedded in their roots, in our roots, right? They know where our beginnings were. They know the languages that we should be speaking. So why not learn from them? Why not take this opportunity to jump in and really say, hey, it's time to build and let's keep building. So, whew, that was a lot. Um, but this conversation and this experience was very much needed. Boakye is coming back on and he should be able to sit with us. Oh, beautiful. Good to have you back. I'm so glad you were able to jump in.
Sorry, there was a few hitches here and there.
That's okay. I know the Wi-Fi between our two locations may be a little crazy. Yeah, so let's get back into the topic at hand, right? I was just discussing the need or the desire that you expressed for African Americans to come back to Africa. What is that about?
Okay. So I was saying that, we in Africa actually have a big heart and, we love you so very much, all our family in diaspora. You want to come back, just visit your roots so we can actually build Africa together, because if we're able to build Africa, that's where all Black people can actually get the integrity that we deserve. You get it,
Yes.
So actually, and I tell people that Africa is beautiful. It's really peaceful to live in Africa. It's not the way that the Western media or the mainstream media make it look like. Sometimes they make it look like there are scary people in Africa, and there are only criminals. But we have people who have been to school. We have people who are doctors, and a whole lot. We only need ideas to build our nation, to build our continent. And we can do that with the help of the diasporans, those who have had the opportunity to be outside and seeing how people develop. You get it? So when they come back and add their ideas to what we have home, then that is when we can be able to build the content.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% because sorry to cut you off. I know we keep losing a little bit of connection, so it's hard to know how.
That I personally want all Black people living in diaspora to come back so we can build a continent together. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. It's time for us to go back, right? Because if I'm going to be investing my money, it should be into something that's going to build people that I believe will benefit and to prosper. So instead of investing in companies that aren't owned by people that look like me, maybe I can invest in a little bit of property in Africa. I was doing some research after our last talk, and I noticed that people who are not residents are only able to lease or rent land for a little bit of time. I think it's like a year or something in Africa. But as a business owner, if you get a residential card or like a passport, African passport, or ID, or some type of dual citizenship, you will be able to buy property and to invest and to build on the land out there. And you were telling me before, which I thought was amazing, that all you need to really live a sustainable life is $100,000. Like a mansion in Africa is $100,000. So why not live in a land of milk and honey, right? It is so beautiful out there, and I'm grateful to have this conversation with you and to be enlightened on what Africa is and what it can offer us. Yeah, so we're definitely going through a few more moments of technical difficulty. Boche, I'll definitely hit you back on WhatsApp after we're done with this conversation. But guys, please, please, please take it for yourself, right? Do not wait for a handout from anyone. Do not depend on anyone to come and pick you up to be your savior. You are your savior. You are the person who should be motivated to make things happen in your life. And if you need help from a brother or sister, please do not hesitate to reach out. My DM is open. I'm well networked and I'm willing to help people that look like me. And you know, just in a business mindset, you help me, I help you, and vice versa. That's how it works. And yes, $100,000, Jazzy. He told me, he was like, Courtney, if you want to get a mansion, all you need is $100,000. You know what I'm getting for $100,000 out here? A shack, a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom shack. Not even a full house, maybe a tiny house. But yes, it is beautiful. He has a farm. He was building and working on his farm one day. He showed me the pictures and the images and the vegetables and everything that he was growing. And he said that Africa was poor, but from what I was able to see, I did not see anyone that was poor. I saw wealth. I saw growth. I saw self-sustainability, and I was empowered and motivated to do more. And I encourage everyone that views this, whether you are live or on a replay, please find a way to create sustainability for yourself. Do not beg for sustainability, create it. Do not wait for someone else to reach out. Do it yourself, right? And that's the goal and the message of today's live. Thank you all for joining. I'm so glad that I have an opportunity to share in this experience with you. The time is now 12 o'clock, so I'm going to get ready to just make sure that Emmanuel Boakye is okay. He is an English teacher in Africa and always insightful and great conversations to have with him. So again, thank you all. I loved having you. I will definitely post this video so you can have some of the context in the replay, and feel free to jump in with any questions. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye.
With Courtney. Let's grow together.